Venezuelan that lives in the United States and is a Democrat. Why are you guys shitting on Venezuelans right now? You guys are just being so rude. Like, do you know how many deaths this man has? How much blood he has on his hands? And yeah, it was Trump. He got him. Am I super happy it was him? No, but you gotta give credit where credit is due. Like, he did what no one thought I would. I never thought I would live to see this ever. Like, I'm in shock, and it makes me sad that you guys are just like saying he was a sovereign president. He wasn't. He was a dictator. He was a dictator. Why don't you take this energy to see who he really was, and then come back with your opinions? Like, just let us have this moment.
And that's one of the things that's messed up with the United States of America, whether you're the left or the right or you're in between. No matter whichever one side does, it's always going to be an issue. Nobody's ever going to be able to get what they want completely. And it's almost like we will never be able to actually come together as one as a country. Now, during a press conference, Trump already admitted he never ran this by Congress whatsoever, risk of it getting leaked. Just like some of the things that he tries to do in America, dealing with ICE, and it gets leaked. ICE operations get leaked. So what makes you think that something as controversial as this between the Republicans, the liberals, and the Democrats, or if you want to put them in the same category, you can, doesn't bother me, but something so strategic as this, you wouldn't want to risk that being leaked and then ultimately having a failed mission, right? I don't see anything wrong with it, even with the oil thing. Even with the oil thing, now, I will admit, sometimes America can move as if we're, a dictatorship and we can take over certain things with other countries, so on and so forth with the oil. So I don't really want to speak too much on that until we actually get more information on what they plan on doing with the oil. Maybe there's some type of peace agreement in the works. We removed this dictatorship that should have never even been in office, from what I was hearing when they was running for during the elections way back then in that time. Apparently the person that was actually going to win, they assassinated. That's what the word on the street is. Again, I don't actually live in the country, don't have family in the country, but when you have people right here, and she says she's a Democrat, you have people that is actually Venezuelan or from Venezuela, and they're happy about it. All you could see on the news is all the Venezuelans happy that we literally didn't even kill him, but we literally kidnapped him and took him out of the country and removed him from power. I have a buddy that lives in Aruba right now. He was celebrating, and it took me a minute to figure out what was going on. And I hit him up and he was like, yeah, hey, buddy. I was like, what's going on down there, man? And he's not even Venezuelan. He's Dutch. He's Dutch. He was like, yeah, man, that guy was this, that, and the third. He killed a bunch of people. And then for the United States of America, our whole standpoint, or at least Trump's whole standpoint, is we're cleaning up the streets of America because allegedly this president was in ties with the cartel, ties with different people in Colombia, Cuba, that was helping transport thousands and thousands and thousands of drugs into our country, which is ultimately killing our people. Right? So, hey, win for a win.
Hello, this is your local Venezuelan girl on your For You page. This morning I woke up and I was like, no fucking way. I thought that it was fake news because with all of the situation that it's happening, you never know what the fuck is real and what's not. I never, let me be completely honest with you, the demoralization and the fracture in the spirit of Venezuelan people has been such that I really wasn't expecting whatsoever to see that motherfucker go down. Nonetheless, it is not enough for me that they took him and his wife. It wouldn't be enough if he spent the rest of his life in jail.
Oh, where are we going with this?
Rotten, being beaten, tortured. It wouldn't be enough because of the damage that he has caused The whole regime has costing millions of people. I'm talking generations. They've taken everything. The one thing that we keep having is our identity or nationalism. Saying we come from this beautiful country that has the name of a woman, Venezuela. And I'm displaced in a different part of the world because of what's taking place in my country.
And that's another problem too that a lot of people don't look at, right? What's the biggest thing that's on the, well, I ain't gonna say the Republicans. What's the biggest thing that's on Trump's agenda? Getting rid of illegal people in America that's not here documented the right way. So when you have people from other countries that are mistreating their people, right, and people from their own country don't want to be there, what genuinely happens? They flee. They flee. So I'm assuming this has just a little bit to do as well with a lot of their natural born citizens over there in Venezuela fleeing over into America illegally to get away from all the corruption that has happened. So hopefully with the new president in place, which you're going to have to get rid of the vice president, they're going to have to sweep the whole entire political foundation over there from top to bottom, or you're going to risk the same thing happening, right? The vice president, she's out of there. I give it about a couple months. She'll be out of there. There's no way that Trump is going to continue to allow her to run the country when she was basically Maduro's right hand man, even though she's a woman. But you guys get what I'm trying to say.
And you know, it is a big conflict. People are like, there is war, what's gonna happen? Trump sucks. This is incorrect. Look, I don't give a fuck what's going to happen right now. All I care about is that today we see a glimpse of hope.
I'm gonna be honest. Won the last election. If we see a war out of this, I'll be surprised. It's not like this is Korea. It's not like this is Korea. I think that would be a big enough problem to where we would then pull in Russia, and a couple other sovereigns. But, Venezuela, I'm sorry, unless I'm just ignorant to what's really going on and the allies that Venezuela actually have, I don't really see much coming out of this.
And the fucking dictatorship continue in place, and they decide to not do a peaceful transfer of power. Even when these people had to get dragged out of their fucking beds in the middle of the night, so be it. So be it, because you have no idea the amount of immigrants that have gone through significant amount of trauma and difficulties in different parts of the world because they had to run away from the place that birthed them because of these motherfuckers.
Ooh, she doing a lot of cussing. Let's go on to this last one.
You're feeling contradictory about all this. Join the crowd. I look at what unfolded in Venezuela, and frankly, I feel some contradictions. On the one hand, I've reported in Venezuela, and Nicolas Maduro was a dictator. He was oppressive. He mismanaged the economy. He was a disaster for Venezuela and for the entire region. There are approximately 7.9 million refugees who fled Venezuela, going to Colombia and other countries, impoverished. In a country that has so much oil wealth because of mismanagement there. Venezuela and the entire region would be much better off with Maduro out if he is replaced by somebody better. Yet at the same time, if we're going to question Maduro's legitimacy, as we should, look, he appears to have lost the last presidential election, we also have to look at the legitimacy of the U.S. operation to remove him. And there's serious doubts about the legality of that. Right now, I'm talking to you from Taiwan, where one has to wonder whether Xi Jinping and China will look at operations like this and think, well, if the U.S. can do that in Venezuela, then why can't I do that in Taiwan? So we have to look at that precedent. We have to look at the legality of what we have done. And then we have to look at the practical impact of this. If Maduro could be replaced...
I didn't even think about it like that. He has an absolute point there. It gets to a point where America can't just keep doing whatever they want to do with foreign affairs. Whether it's for the greater good of the world, and not expect other countries to be able to do what they also want to do with their affairs as well. So I will say he has a point. He has a point on that one.
If Maduro could be replaced in Venezuela by a democratic government that could manage the economy well, that would be great for Venezuela. But note that the Venezuelan vice president is still there.
And I just spoke on that earlier in the video.
Appear to still be there. So it's not clear that the regime has been overthrown at all. In fact, it seems to still be in place, even if Maduro himself is gone. And I think we should also remember that we have some experience in helping remove dictators, including in Iraq and in Libya, and finding that it is a lot easier to topple a dictator than to institute a democratic populist government in its place. Look, I think it's worth celebrating.
And that's why I say it's way too soon to actually understand what's fully going on, what's going to happen. This is going to take a couple of months. By next week, we'll all be on to the next news topic. But y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments, man. I love you. I appreciate you guys. Like the video, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed the videos and what you saw today. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.